natural trait notable for its softness and lightness. The little silkworm, in one of its life stages, spits out a thin strand of saliva that hardens into what we call silk. Did you know that an average-sized silkworm cocoon can give a yarn with a length equal to around 100 motorbikes in a cube? More precisely, you can ravel up to 1.2 kilometers of silk yarn from a silkworm's cocoon. Sericulture, which appeared a long time ago, is now still the most common method to provide the material for silk production globally.
Hi, I am Arslan. I'm coming from Turkey and I'm living in Vietnam almost for 5 years.
As the host in this episode of Vietnam Discovery, I find myself in this silk weaving workshop. Here, weaver Nguyen Thi Tham has shown me domestically produced silk yarns. Tham told me that she bought the materials from craft village in other province and processes them to traditional Vietnamese patterned clothes. The smooth and ventilated fabric will then be dyed and tailored into various types of items. The most famous items are scarves and clothes.
Yeah, it's too comfortable and breathable in this tropical hot weather of Vietnam. Silk made by threads and thread produced by silkworms. And in Vietnam, over 1,000 years they are cultivating silkworms. And in this episode of Vietnam Discovery, we will investigate all about silkworms. Let's check it out together.
Có ai về quê hương em bên dòng sông cầu, nước chảy lơ thơ, nước chảy lơ thơ.
Vong Niet village is in the northern province of Bac Nin's Yan Phoc district. Legend has it that this was the place that provided silk for royal families in the past. Times have changed, and the trade now is no longer as popular. However, for many households in the village, the desire to maintain this tradition has never faded.
Chào anh.
Xin chào.
Khỏe không?
Anh khỏe.
Tôi là Aslan, tên là
Alan. Anh là Tiến.
Anh đang làm gì bây giờ?
Anh đang cho Tầm ăn ăn.
Ăn nhanh.
Đấy, anh thấy không?
Rồi.
Thế Tầm ăn dỗi.
They must be too hungry. They are eating too fast, and really I can hear the sound while they are eating.
Cho Tầm ăn. Cả láng.
This is the first time I have seen silkworms, and except the smelling, I think they are okay. Maybe they have many legs, but I think they are clean animals because they are eating only mulberry leaves.
According to Tien, the silkworms that we are looking at are of their 5th instar. It means that they are adult silkworms, accumulating nutrients, and they need feeding well. At this stage, a silkworm eats up to 70% to 80% of the volume of the mulberry leaves in its entire circle of life. Before becoming an adult, silkworms go through different stages. The silkworm eggs, which only have the size of sesame seeds, hatch in larvae. The tiny and immature worms eat mulberry seeds that the farmers prepare for them. The larvae molt 4 times as they grow. During each molt, the old skin is cast off and a new larger one is produced. Growing mulberry trees is an indispensable activity in all the villages that raise silkworms.
Bây giờ hái dâu này, ăn man, nhìn này. Mình bỏ lại.
Rồi.
Trên là bỏ lại, mình hái dưới.
Rồi.
Đấy.
À, dễ mà.
Dễ đúng không?
Dễ.
Đây, ăn man đây. Thế này.
Ok không?
Ok.
Ok.
Mình một ngày mới có 3 bữa nhưng mà tầm 3 tiếng, 2 tiếng đã có một bữa rồi.
3 tiếng, 2 tiếng à?
Đã ăn một bữa nữa rồi.
Tâm chỉ ăn lá dâu á?
Ăn lá dâu ấy thì con tầm nó khỏe, nó tốt, mà nó lại cho cái sợi tơ nó vàng, óng, đẹp.
Nếu ăn lá dâu có được không? Ăn lá dâu ok không?
Rất tốt đấy. Ngọn dâu mang về nấu canh để giúp con người nó mất ngủ ấy. Con người nó mất ngủ.
As only fresh leaves contain enough moisture, Tian never stores the leaves at home. To feed growing silkworms, he often goes to mulberry field several times a day. For me, this seems quite time-consuming. I asked Tian why they don't raise the silkworms at the field. They can eat and grow well with all the food here. However, Tian claimed that based on the practices of his ancestors, the silkworms have always been domesticated. In the wild, they are too vulnerable to harsh weather and other animals. To get their precious silken threads, the silk producer have to take good care of them. However, hard work now will bring happiness later.
Dễ mà.
Returning to Tian's house, we prepare a space for the silkworms to create their cocoons.
Okay. Anh Tian ơi, tầm bao nhiêu ngày ở đây?
Tầm ở đây vào 1 ngày 1 đêm.
1 ngày 1 đêm.
1 ngày 1 đêm.
Ở đây.
Thì sau mình lại dỡ ra, dỡ con kén ra.
Okay.
When skin of silkworms turn to yellow and their bodies become transparent, they will start spinning silk in a few days.
Now they already stopped eating leaves. It means they can produce silk. And it takes 20 days to reach this size, and they can grow till 5 centimeters. And now they are ready to produce
Cocoon.
The ripe silkworms will have to excrete a certain amount of urine before they start their work. It's quite weird.
Some people, when they touch the silkworm, they can feel itchy. But luckily I am not feeling. I can touch and even I can play with them. Now I can see that they already start to secret ritual. It means they are cleaning their body and they start to produce the silk cocoon. But according to Mr. Tian, it takes 2 to 4 hours to complete all the cocoon. Let's wait.
After fully occupied, the bamboo and rice straw condor is brought to the front door. Sunlight is the element that helps the silkworms work more effectively. Everything will go smoothly, and the silkworms will finish their nooks sooner or later. However, as the silkworms are vulnerable to some natural killers such as bees or ants, it's the best to keep an eye on them. For me, I failed to fulfill my duty because I tried to do some meditation while waiting for the cocoon forming. Not only were 1 or 2 silkworms harmed, but I myself got a little bite.
Yeah. After 4 hours, silkworms already they complete their metamorphosis and they turn to cocoons. I wish I have a protection like them, like silk wall too, because while I am doing meditation, because one mosquito just bite my face.
I walk around tranquil alleys in some corner of Vong Niet village. As it is the end of a school year in Vietnam now, many children are playing near the communal house of the village. I can easily get acquainted to them. Vietnamese people are very friendly. Not only children, but the adults also.
The rural life in Vietnam is really colorful, and I was lucky because while we are waiting to silkworms complete their cocoons, the Tian took me to the competition, and all the neighborhood was over there, and we had a great time.
Tian explains to me that the men in Vong Niet village have recently started training dogs. Today is the first day of the 20-day dog competition in the area, so they all want to give it a try. We are sitting in the shade and waiting for the sun. It's a hot day, but the sun hasn't broken through to the cloud cover. Only in a clear blue sky can birds flying shape be seen precisely.
It looks like a bird market, but actually it's not a bird market, it's a bird competition. And all these guys came here with their trained birds. And this competition is doing twice a year. And I can't remember all the regulations, but let's wait and see how they are doing. I'm really excited.
After waiting for a while, the organizer announced that the competition will be delayed due to the weather. Then I noticed that some people have opened their dog cages and freed the birds. While still wondering what's going on, Tian asked me to do the same. He explains that many competitors don't want to carry their birds home on their bikes, so they let those use their wings.
One.
I finish my task to the applause of my new friends.
Actually, I want to let them go away forever, but all the birds will find their way to come back home because they are strictly trained to do this.
Silkworm rearing and silk reveling are specialist tasks which are restricted to different masters in Wong Niet. As one of the biggest business in the village, this workshop not only use locally produced yellow cocoons, but also processes white cocoons from other localities. Tui, workshop owner, is the only male worker, while all the complicated work is carried out by women.
Yes, now I am in the workshop and they are harvesting silk from the cocoons. All the cocoons are placed in the boiling hot water, and with this way they can get long thread. Chị đang làm gì ở đấy bây giờ?
Đang đánh kén.
Có không?
Dễ.
Rẻ á? Nếu rẻ em muốn làm thì rồi. Like this. Ah, yeah, okay. Here. Oh, măng quá.
Được.
Now I am
Béo
feeling
đấy.
like I am in sauna.
Béo.
Yeah. Chị khỏe lắm. Nếu em làm ở đây một tiếng, em chết rồi.
Đấy rồi ôi.
Tốt không?
Này nha. Thôi lên để cho người ta ươm. Đấy. Thế.
The process not only requires hard work over a boiling pot, but also practiced skill to keep the threads unbroken. After that, the local women begin to use machines to unwind the softened coat of the cocoons, forming an extraordinarily long thread of great strength, which still remains very delicate. The threads will be sold to weaving workshop to make silk. The process is needed to ensure an intact threads, but it also kills the pupa inside the cocoon. So actually these are the same cocoons that I see in the workshop. But the things are different here. In the workshop they are using cocoons for their silk.
But here they are using cocoons for the produce more eggs for the next generation silkworms.
While spending enough time inside of the cocoon, the pupas shed their skin and change into moths. The moths will then emerge from their cocoons by secreting special saliva, so that the silk can be dissolved and the moth can emerge. The moths cannot eat or drink, but they go on to mate for 1 day before the female moth lays eggs and dies 5 days later.
So now silkworms, they complete already their metamorphosis and they turn to moths. Now I am keeping 2 of them. after they turn to moth, the female and male moth, they find each other and they leave their eggs. And now I am keeping one of them. Is the female moth. Just now it brings her eggs here.
A female moth can lay hundreds of eggs, which will then hatch into worms in a few weeks and carry on this continuous life cycle.
Thì con cho chút vào dễ mà mất.
Ngọt lắm.
Ngon mà.
Ngon.
Ngon hơn. Ngon. Rồi, tốt.
Cái này tốt lắm đấy.
To eat silkworms, it was a strange experience for me. To be honest, it was delicious, and I enjoyed it.
Ngon đây bà. Chạy cơ.
Nothing is better than wrapping up my day in the village among this kind of people.
Khỏe không?
I feel peaceful listening to Quan Ho singing in front of the humble house. The women in the village lift their voice and the sweet melodies charm the night. Living with them for just a day, I realized that their working spirit and love for life is the real treasure I have found on this day.
Anh này, về buổi tối ấy, thì những người có tuổi rồi là cũng như là người ít tuổi thì thường hay tụ tập ngồi chơi, uống nước rồi hát câu ca quan họ.
Anh biết hết.
Như ở đây có dì với cái chị đây này là hát quan họ rất hay.
Manh áo lụa hồng cô tấm ngày xưa đi cháy hồi mùa hò hẹn trai duyên về nhà rồi mẹ qua cầu gió bay. Những người thiếu nữ hôm nay tay đưa thoăn thoắt chân bước nhanh nhanh hai lá dầu xanh chăn những nòng tầm. Tầm ơi ăn lá dầu này tầm màu lớn nhé nhà tên trò dậy